Welcome back to the classroom. Come on in. No late pass required. Today, we are reacting to Ahsoka, Season 1, Episode 2, titled Part 2, Toil and Trouble. Obviously, a two-parter for the season premiere, or series premiere even, if you want to call it that. And, first episode was phenomenal. Obviously, there was a lot going on with, kind of understanding where everybody was situated at the end of Rebels and kind of seeing what the mindset was for pretty much everybody. And we got to see a lot of different things. We got to see what Sabine has been up to, how she's been kind of almost in a depressive state, kind of in a funk, obviously, having never found Ezra, kind of waiting around for him. We saw what Ahsoka's been up to. She's pretty much been doing everything in her power to almost keep herself busy in a sense. And as a result of doing this, has found a lead that could potentially lead them to not only Ezra, but to the lost Grand Admiral Thrawn, which, of course, Morgan Elsbeth, Balin, and Shin are all on the hunt for that as well. And it was really cool getting to see live action Lothal, getting to see Ryder Azadi return, even getting to see some of the other more obscure Rebels characters, because I didn't even notice when they first mentioned it, but I noticed it when I was editing the video afterwards that Jai Kell was now the senator for Lothal. He was voiced by Dante Bosco, which any of you who are watching this who are big Avatar fans know that that is Zuko. And it was awesome kind of getting all these little nods to those who were big fans of Rebels, but also at the same time making sure that those who had not maybe seen Rebels were at least caught up in a sense. Although I will say, if you haven't watched Rebels, then what are you doing here? You really should watch it, because that show is phenomenal, and it'll really put you into the right mindset for this show, because it is, in a way, Rebels Season 5. And so, either way, if you missed that last reaction, make sure to check the card up in the top right-hand corner, because right now, I need to know what happened to Sabine, because obviously she got, she lost her duel with Shin, and the map was taken as Ahsoka was running in to help her, and I'm really curious to see where they go next. So without further ado, let's jump into Episode 2, Toil and Trouble. I think there's gonna be witches.
You know who could help you with this? I'm not sure she'll want to help. She'll do it.
It was great getting to see Hera as well.
For disappearing on you.
It was a pretty awesome duel, though. At least it was lower in her abdomen, so hopefully that gives her a chance to not be totally, like, dead. The music has been really on point so far with this series as well.
It's about preventing another war.
Sabine having some
Looking for this.
horse dreams again.
That's too bad.
And Ahsoka sensing it.
Sabine. What planet?
They took the map before I could decipher it.
Ah, damn.
Did you keep a record of what you found?
Yeah, but the droid destroyed it.
The droids destroyed it. You need my help.
No. You've done enough.
Come on, Ahsoka. She's definitely gotten into a bit more of a mindset of, you can't do something right, then you gotta do it yourself. She's almost like, you know, it's the same thing with her having like her arms crossed all the time. Like, she's kind of guarding herself, protecting herself, and, you know, having to rely on others. You know, it was the old her, and it's only brought her trauma. And at this point, Sabine, I think, is fully grasping what is happening, because I don't think she fully grasped it at first. I really like the two of them. Balin here is just like, he's a force to be reckoned with. Like, just so imposing. And Shin's a badass. That was a Purgle. Shit. Ah, toil and trouble. There be witches in these woods. I love the Loth cats. I think she's trying to use force memories. It was something that Cal Kestis was able to do. I wonder if they're gonna show that here. I love that little guy. I love the Loth cats. They're so cute. Definitely some animatronic or puppetry work going on with the Loth cats, which I absolutely love. Yeah, that's some skillful puppetry going on. Yep, that's right. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who's there? Who's that? The droid was still there.
I was hoping you were still here.
That Loth cat being real helpful, honestly. Almost like an early warning system.
As long as you didn't short out its capacitors when you slide. Like me, this kind of droid is incredibly resilient. Take up an arm or leg and it just keeps coming. Recover the droid's memory.
And find out where it came from. Very clever.
What happens if you get the power levels wrong?
The head will explode.
Explode.
Calm your circuits.
Say go for it.
Because you're a hologram.
There's no time to relocate. Behind as it is.
Hera's like, yeah, go for it.
It's now or never. It's encrypted. I need a minute.
Oh boy. Don't fry it now.
This droid came here from Corellia.
The New Republic shipyard?
Wasn't always a New Republic shipyard.
Morgan Elspeth had factories on Corellia. I'll meet you there.
Let's get going.
No, you need to recover.
I'm fine.
Trying to protect her.
You did good.
Tell that to her.
I do. But she's not the one who needs to hear it right now.
Yeah. Ahsoka's almost like
Seen her in
drowning her trauma
first thing I
in
hear goes
work.
sideways. You heard her. She doesn't want my help.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, I was about to say, she very much needs your help here.
Now get some rest.
She's not gonna rest though. Or maybe she will, I don't know. Yeah, she is looking very Night Sister-esque here.
Whose work is it?
Night Sisters.
Ancient people from a distant galaxy.
Oh, never mind.
Would you like to see it?
Who built it? She's a force wielder. She can't. I mean, that would make a lot of sense.
Is our galaxy.
She was very capable of fighting Ahsoka in The Mandalorian. I always wondered, like, was there something going on with that? This makes a lot of sense. Get to see more of a visual here.
That Thrawn calls to me. Across time and space.
Jeez.
The threads of fate do not lie.
Night Sister abilities are different from that of Jedi and Sith, that's for sure.
The Eye of Sion is on its way here. Make sure that everything is ready for its arrival.
Eye of Sion?
See that he does.
There's a lot of intrigue going on here. She still doesn't trust her.
Power. Such as you've never dreamed.
Power. What is it that they are trying to...
Go to Corellia. Assist Marok with the final transport.
What is his goal in all this? Going to Corellia, so everything's converging again. Corellia shipyards, they're cool. Last time we saw Corellia, I think it was in Solo. Well, maybe Sabine didn't go with her here. Yo, it's the Phantom!
All Imperial assets were dissolved and
Oh.
distributed, including those held by Morgan Elsbeth.
I recognize
All
him.
the same. I could make this a more formal inspection if you'd like.
That won't be necessary, General.
Forget where I recognize him from, though. I know he's a famous actor. Hey, Chopper!
Don't you worry about their loyalty?
The average worker doesn't care about the nuances of galactic politics.
I don't know, but they're...
Loyalty so long as they're paid.
I don't buy that.
I'll leave the politics up to you.
Yeah, that... Oh, man. That right there is, yeah, New Republic making similar mistakes to that of the Empire.
Maybe we're both past that.
I don't think
she
so.
could use some structure. So could you.
She's
I-
not ready.
Yeah, I agree with Hera here.
What makes someone ready?
You just know.
It's a leap of faith.
So do they.
That'll be a fun little scar to have.
I heard your repairs were complete.
Ezra's lightsaber.
True, he constructed it, and by all accounts it served him well. Then he passed it on to you. You have since made your own modifications.
I was about to say.
Now, your lightsaber. Well, perhaps it is time to begin again.
Ooh.
I don't think that's up to me. I can't train if Ahsoka doesn't want to teach me.
That is an excuse. And a poor one.
She quit on me.
The past is the past. Move forward.
Wow. Coming from a droid that is centuries.
Okay, but
Old.
answer this. She wasn't even thinking about me.
To be fair, you have never indicated that you want to come back.
It's a fair point,
How
too.
annoying you are.
Logical. And I can safely say your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all.
Wow.
Well then.
The only time you are wasting is your own.
Wow. Oh, I love Sabine's theme. I get the feeling like she's starting to have some Force sensitivity because she's been having all those dreams. All those visions in her sleep.
Refurbished from an SSD ready for its new life serving the Republic. This facility has produced 9.
From a super Star
The New
Destroyer.
Republic Defense Fleet isn't building anything that big. What class of starship are they for?
That seems a little suspicious.
Classified.
Classified. I'm a general. Nothing's classified to me.
A document without authorization.
From who?
Authorizing it.
I'm not sure you can.
Want to bet?
Don't mess with Hera or Ahsoka, are you kidding me?
C1, can you come over here, please?
An HK-class droid recently prevented me from completing this task.
When was
Oh,
this?
5 rotations ago.
recently.
Why didn't you log a report?
I believe it is departing on that transport.
Stop that ship.
Oh,
Can't do that, General. They've been cleared for departure.
I said stop that ship. That's an order.
yeah, bad checks. They were giving too many looks there. Oh, she still has her old blaster too.
Get the Phantom. Right.
Hey, you're not catching up. Oh, what? Is that an Inquisitor? Oh, the Phantom's so cool. That is literally an Inquisitor. How on earth did an Inquisitor survive the fall of the Empire? I didn't think there were many that did.
CT-05. 05, return to port.
Yeah, blaster's firing. You're trying to take on Hera. You're gonna lose.
Keep your lid on, Chop.
I love that. Oh, using the droid there. That was awesome. That is very much an Inquisitor. Holy shit. Did he shoot it down? Wait, did he just say, is that bad?
Don't miss this time.
He said I'd never... Wait a minute. Why can I understand Chopper? No, no.
No, I did not go through your stuff.
Yes, you did. Oh. Found it!
Hurry up. They're gonna make the jump into hyperspace as soon as they clear the atmosphere.
I've been watching this too. I've been watching Rebels way too much apparently, because why can I understand Chop? Oh, he's running for it. Yo, did she just pull? Yo, like Master, like Apprentice, she just pulled an Anakin. What are you doing down there? Just blaster goes by. Yo, you gonna do the? You gonna do the thing? Yes. Got it. Guess I did.
I'm here.
Oh, I love the little Loth cat. I get the feeling like she's gearing up. That sounded like... Yes, it did. For old Beskar. Oh. Why is this almost sad? Oh, that's such an epic helmet. Is she meditating? Wait a minute. Stop. Is that Kanan's knife? My goodness, is that... She goes to cut her hair here. Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. The parallels. That's just like... Kanan was in a sense her first master.
What a mess.
Yo.
I'm ready.
Yo, in her full getup and everything. She knows. She has to. Wait. Oh my goodness, this was the series finale of Rebels. Oh my goodness, it's like beat for beat. Oh. Yes. Oh my goodness, I love that.
Nice haircut.
It's more me.
Hell yeah, it is.
It has remained in orbit around the planet Cetos.
Half their heading.
Better get moving.
Oh. Like bead for bead. We saw how they got there, and now we can see where they go.
Padawan.
Oh, we get more. I thought that was the end of the episode there. What are they building? Wait, are they building a ship that allows them to go to another galaxy like that? Oh, good. That's exactly what they're doing.
Installation of the final hyperdrive has begun.
Soon the Eye of Sion will be complete.
That's
We shall deliver Grand Admiral Thrawn.
the ship.
On the far galaxy.
The sooner the better. It'll be a shame. There are so few Jedi left.
Sentimental.
Truth.
Yeah. And they got an Inquisitor. Oh, jeez. Too many resources here. It wasn't a clean escape, so... So we just finished watching Season 1, Episode 2 of Ahsoka, Toil and Trouble. And it was less witchy stuff than I thought it was going to be, although I will say that the start of the episode definitely felt a little witchy, because we saw Morgan Elsbeth actually use the Force for the first time, and we saw sort of that, like, you know, greenish Night Sister magic, and there's a lot to digest here. Like, I'm still a bit lost in thought on this. There's a lot to unpack here. I think really the biggest takeaway from that map there was the fact that Thrawn and Ezra got jettisoned to another galaxy, which, I mean, I guess makes sense because the Purgles don't really have a navigational chart necessarily like a starship would, and as such they definitely seem to have just taken them completely out of the equation. Like, it was almost as if we were looking at the galaxy of Star Wars in the form of like a game board, and the Purgles coming in was basically like removing Thrawn and Ezra from that game board, and then just like tossing them out of the game box. Like, they weren't even a player anymore. And I guess that really does make sense, because obviously we don't see Ezra or Thrawn in the main Star Wars movies, the original trilogy, or even like the sequel trilogy in a sense. The most that we ever see in the sequel trilogy is in The Rise of Skywalker. We see the Ghost coming to Exegol. But other than that, like, we don't necessarily know their fate. And so this makes sense in the grand scheme of things that they would have been just jettisoned to another galaxy. And what was also kind of insane as well was how there was like that little subtle nod to their fate, because when they put that map down on the pedestal on that device, whatever it was, we see Purgles off in the clouds, kind of floating above them. And that right there, like, I love the little teasers, the little callbacks, because I don't necessarily think that it would be a detriment to those who have not seen Rebels, but at the same time, like, for us fans who very much liked Rebels, it's a nice little nod, like a nice little tip of the hat, like, yeah, we see you watching. Don't you worry. We paid attention to every detail. And it was really cool kind of getting to see also the medical treatment for Sabine. I kind of liked how, like, you know, they were almost using like a back to bandage in a sense. It almost looked like it reminded me of like a cigar burn. Like it reminded me of one of the first X-Men movies when Logan or Wolverine, you know, puts his cigar out while he's in Cerebro, and he has like the circular burn, which I guess makes sense because a lightsaber is you know, of course, gonna burn and cauterize pretty much anything that it goes through, and so it you know, it makes sense that she would be left with a scar like that. It looked like it hit her in a fairly non-lethal part of her body as well, which is good. I mean, probably still was, you know, somewhat painful, but, you know, it's good to see that, you know, she is, as they say, resilient. She's somebody who is tough. She's a Mandalorian, and, you know, she bounces back very quickly here and is able to at least help them to Corellia, which also, I love the little nod to like the assassin droids are HK droids, because, you know, IG droids were kind of used as like bounty hunting droids and assassin droids in a sense, but like these types of assassin droids, like the HK units, those have been used since the days of like the old Republic. You know, first time I ever heard about the HK droids was actually in Knights of the Old Republic, so it's awesome that they're making reference even to something as subtle as that for us fans who are a little on the older side. You know, as I approach my 30th birthday coming up soon. Knights of the Old Republic was a game that I grew up with, and so, you know, the HK-47 was a droid that was like the peak of humor at the time when you finally did encounter him, because, well, you know, he called anything that was living a meat bag, and he loved to, you know, destroy all meat bags. But it's cool that they almost have like updated versions of HK droids that are just super good at, you know, their job. They've been so good that they've existed for thousands of years at this point. Once again, kind of the same as Hu Yang, you know, being thousands of years old and yet still, you know, not only existing but thriving. But, you know, he said 75% original parts. Like, he looks pretty damn good for being like, you know, hundreds if not thousands of years old. The star map was really cool. It kind of gave off vibes. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Treasure Planet in a sense when they were looking at the star map, which, you know, makes sense. You know, Treasure Planet was hugely influential on me growing up, and something tells me that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and all those other nerds running the show there definitely are fans of Treasure Planet. You know, it's the reason why I was so obsessed with getting Spelljammer for the longest time for D&D, because it's basically Treasure Planet. And so I don't know if the reference was intentional or not, but even if it wasn't, then still really cool to kind of get the feel like, oh yeah, Star Wars is just Treasure Planet now. We're gonna go explore somewhere else, and here's your treasure map. Like, I'll take that. Treasure Planet is hugely, vastly underappreciated, and if it is a reference, I, you know, tip my hat once again. When it comes to the Corellia scene, like I said, the last time I believe we saw Corellia was during the days of the Empire when Han Solo was living there. And so it was kind of cool to get to see how Corellia has changed, but also hasn't. You know, when it came to these shipyards, like they're legendary shipyards. This is where the Empire built their Star Destroyers, and now evidently they were using these shipyards to make Republic ships, but at the same time, like, they've been using all these Empire workers who you could tell right away, like, Ahsoka and Hera even knew, like, this feels uncomfortable. I don't necessarily think that we should be trusting them. It's in a way kind of making the same mistakes as what we saw during the days of the Empire. Like, the Empire employed anyone and everyone, even if, like, they were not loyal to the Empire, and we saw how that, you know, there was a lot of sabotage, there was a lot of espionage, there was a lot of things that undermined the Empire, and I would say eventually led to their fall. And we're kind of just seeing a repeat of history here. And in my mind, it's giving a bit more clarity to what we saw in The Last Jedi. Now, bear with me here. I know. Bear with me here. I'm one of the few individuals who actually enjoyed the sequels and just more or less felt like they needed what the prequels got, which was like a Clone Wars treatment. They needed a show that would help enhance the movies itself, because the Clone Wars made the prequels like far superior. I don't care what you say about the Clone Wars TV show, easily made it better. But what I'm getting at here is that we're starting to see a repeat of history, and that's something that they seem to be really hitting the nail on, whether it was in The Mandalorian, whether it was in the Ahsoka series, whether it was in the Book of Boba Fett. We're starting to see a repeat of history. Pretty much anytime like one side wins, the other side starts to kind of like grow itself like a parasite from within this new entity and emerge, but then it just keeps on going back and forth. And from what we know about the history of even just the Jedi and the Sith, they've been at war with each other for eons. And something's got to break the cycle. Because like right now we're starting to see once again that the New Republic is making some similar mistakes to that of the Empire, or even I would say the Old Republic, and how they're just kind of letting things fester from within themselves. And I kind of like the idea of them kind of challenging the way things are traditionally done, the way that things continually go on a cycle. Which kind of leads into the scene where we saw Sabine and Huyang talking with each other about how, you know, she doesn't really have any force sensitivity, but to Huyang, that doesn't even matter because, in a sense, like, yes, the force is what gives a Jedi their power. But at the same time, it's not what really inhabits the spirit and soul of a Jedi. A Jedi, in a sense, is someone who, you know, protects the small guy, is somebody who stands up for what they know is right. And I really do think that out of everybody, Ahsoka is the perfect teacher for an unorthodox student like Sabine, because of the fact that, you know, she doesn't seem that force sensitive. Although I will say, it really does seem like there's a little bit going on with some potential force sensitivity with her dreams. That's a lot of the time when we start to see force sensitivity in a lot of different people. And so I do think that they might be playing a little bit into that there. Definitely interested to see where that goes. And it was really awesome getting to see her suit up again, having her scene where, you know, she mirrors Kanan. I love all the parallels that they're going with here. They're giving us some similar story beats. You know, this was something that they did in the Avatar series as well, which I know Dave Filoni worked on before going over to the Clone Wars. But the character of Zuko and Iroh, you know, they cut their hair at the end of no, it was the beginning of season 2, because it was almost like a metamorphosis. They were essentially going through a transformation or a transition of some kind, and it's something that I believe is prevalent in I think Japanese culture. Don't quote me on that. I remember reading up on it because I'm an Avatar nerd, shocker, and it once again seems like, you know, Sabine was kind of running away from her problems and she was stuck in the past, and that was kind of Huyang's advice, is like, stop dwelling on the past. It's time to move forward, and, you know, there are people who need you, and you have a need for these people. Don't shut them all out. Which then leads us into the fight on Corellia. We see that obviously the person who is running the shipyards, in addition to pretty much all of the personnel there, are still loyal to the Empire, and we see even an Inquisitor show up to basically allow for the escape of that transport, because that was a hyperdrive for a super star destroyer. That's a lot of power, and they're fitting it onto a ship that already has several other hyperdrives. Like, they're really trying to make sure that they can make the journey. That's for sure. And that fight scene was pretty epic, you know, going back and forth between Hera on the Phantom going off towards the transport that was trying to get away with the hyperdrive, which I will say, I love how, as I've gotten older and I've watched Rebels more and more, like, I've started to understand Chopper more. And it, like, I don't know if maybe that's like a byproduct, because it's actually really, really funny that happens, because we see obviously in Rebels that Ezra eventually starts to understand Chop because he has so many interactions with him. And like Zeb's like, wait, you understand him? He's like, yeah, more or less. And I'm like, well, now I get it. Now, Chop is my favorite war criminal. He is absolutely deranged, unhinged, and I love everything about him. He is definitely a great source of entertainment and comedy. I need to figure out who that Inquisitor is, because I can't for the life of me figure out which Inquisitor that is. And I'm curious if there is like which Inquisitor is. It says Marek or Marok is the Inquisitor there, and you know, it seems like nobody really knows who Marok is. I definitely missed that name because I was talking. My apologies. But I wonder who Marok could be. I wonder if like they're keeping it a secret because like it's gonna be somebody that we know. If there was somebody who was somebody who was in Rebels or even Clone Wars, maybe maybe another show. I don't know. Like, I'm curious as to who the identity is, or if it's even going to be important. If there is a payoff for it, it might just be like, oh, they're a survivor of the Inquisitorius, and that's just how it's going to be. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because a lot of the Rebels TV show focus heavily on the Inquisitors and hunting down Ezra and Kanan and the Rebels crew. I love the lightsaber throw, like through the double-bladed Inquisitor lightsaber, came back and Ahsoka just like, you know, casually stepped out of the way of it, like master like apprentice. It's freaking great. And I love that they paid homage at the very end to the series finale of Rebels. We got to see the live-action version of Ahsoka coming and picking up Sabine from the mural that she had painted. I love that. Like, this is easily a love letter to a story that needed a conclusion. And I really am curious to see how this all plays out. Like, does Ahsoka survive? Does Sabine survive? Does does Ezra get found? Is Thrawn actually more of a threat and a menace than we're led to believe? Which he's already pretty big threat. Like, Ahsoka's trying to stop his return. Like, Ezra had to pretty much sacrifice his entire life just to defeat him, because otherwise, like, there was no way to defeat him. He was going to win. There was no way for them to win unless Ezra made the ultimate sacrifice like he did. And so I'm curious to see, you know, hopefully next episode we get a trip to where Ezra and Thrawn are. I wonder what state they're going to be in, like how things are going to be going in that regard, if Ezra managed to escape the clutches of Thrawn, or if even Thrawn is being held by Ezra, or if they completely separated from each other. There's a lot of different if, ands, and buts here that I just want to know a little bit more of, and I'm just really excited to see what happens next. Like, I am so giddy about this show. I've already loved the first 2 episodes because it's just a trip down memory lane, and I'm excited to see what it holds for the future. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. If I missed anything, any subtle nods, anything that I maybe didn't talk about. And if you enjoyed this, make sure like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. But in the meantime, class, you are officially dismissed, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out, everybody.